In late 2025, a story broke that sent shockwaves through both law enforcement agencies and the global motorcycle racing community. It was the kind of news that seemed almost too incredible to be true. A real-life tale of hidden treasure, international intrigue, and the dark underbelly of organized crime. The motorcycle racing world, already buzzing with anticipation for the next season, was suddenly gripped by a mystery that reached far beyond the racetrack. Fans and experts alike were left speechless as details began to emerge. The FBI, working closely with international partners, revealed the results of a daring operation: the seizure of a secret collection of rare, high-value racing motorcycles in a remote warehouse in Mexico. This was the culmination of months of surveillance, undercover work, and cross-border cooperation. This was no ordinary stash. It was a $40 million trove of MotoGP legends, bikes once ridden to victory by the sport's greatest champions. Each motorcycle told a story, bearing the marks of legendary races and the signatures of world-famous riders. The find was the result of a long, complex investigation, and the images released to the public showed rows of iconic machines, their vibrant racing colors faded and dulled by years of neglect and dust. The sight was both haunting and awe-inspiring, a forgotten museum of speed and glory. These weren't replicas or showpieces, they were the real deal. Over 50 priceless bikes, each with its own unique history. For years, rumors had swirled about their existence, but no one had ever seen them, until now. Among the collection were championship-winning machines, original racing leathers, and even trophies from some of the most prestigious MotoGP events. The sheer scale and authenticity of the discovery left experts stunned. The collection belonged to Ryan James Wedding, a notorious fugitive accused of running a violent international drug cartel. His name had long been associated with high-profile crimes, but few suspected his secret obsession with motorcycle racing. The motorcycles were just one piece of his sprawling criminal empire, bought with illicit profits and hidden away as a personal passion project. Alongside the bikes, authorities found luxury cars, rare art, and other evidence of a lavish lifestyle funded by crime. The world was left wondering, how did a most wanted criminal amass such a collection, and what would become of these legendary machines now? As the investigation continued, one thing was certain: the discovery had forever changed the history of MotoGP, and the fate of these bikes would be watched by fans and collectors around the globe. Ryan James Wedding's life is stranger than fiction. His journey is a wild ride through extremes: fame, fortune, and infamy. Born with a competitive spirit, Wedding was once celebrated for his athletic prowess and determination, a young man with the world at his feet. As an Olympic snowboarder for Team Canada in 2002, he soared to international recognition, representing his country on the world's biggest stage. But years later, his face would appear on a very different kind of poster, one issued by the FBI, marking him as one of their most wanted fugitives. After his athletic career ended, Wedding allegedly used his drive and connections to build a powerful drug empire. Authorities say he masterminded a vast smuggling operation, moving cocaine and meth across borders into the US and Canada, amassing millions in illicit profits. Investigators accuse him of orchestrating brutal violence to protect his criminal network, including murder-for-hire plots and intimidation tactics that left a trail of fear and chaos. Law enforcement believes Wedding found sanctuary with the notorious Sinaloa cartel, one of the world's most dangerous criminal organizations. Their protection made him nearly untouchable, a ghost in the criminal underworld. Yet, even as a fugitive, Wedding never abandoned his passions. He secretly amassed a stunning private MotoGP museum, collecting rare motorcycles and racing memorabilia, indulging his love for speed and engineering. The discovery of his hidden collection reveals a bizarre duality: a ruthless cartel boss with a deep, almost childlike love for racing history. It's a glimpse into the contradictions that defined his life. Wedding's story is one of stark contrasts: a man who lived in two worlds, balancing the adrenaline of high-speed racing with the deadly risks of organized crime. The hidden garage stands as a symbol of his double life, a secret sanctuary for a fugitive who craved both power and speed, forever torn between the thrill of the race and the shadows of the underworld. The $40 million value of the collection reflects its historical weight. These bikes are not just rare, they're championship-winning machines, each with a story. Most are modern-era MotoGP prototypes, especially from Ducati, built with exotic materials and cutting-edge tech. Owning even one factory Desmosedici GP is a feat. Wedding had dozens. The collection also included rarities like the Ducati NCR 860, the Supermono, and a Paul Smart Edition Sport Classic. These machines are more than investments. They're living pieces of motorsport history, bearing the marks of legendary races. For fans, their recovery is a bittersweet rescue from obscurity. The tragedy is that such icons were left to gather dust, hidden from the world for years. Among the collection's crown jewels are bikes tied to the sport's biggest names. There's Valentino Rossi's 1996 Aprilia RS125R, the machine that launched his legendary career. Ducati bikes ridden by Casey Stoner, Jorge Lorenzo, Andrea Dovisioso, and others form a timeline of MotoGP greatness. The 2012 Suitor that Marc Marquez rode to his Moto2 world title is another highlight, a pivotal piece in racing history. These aren't just similar models. They're the exact bikes that crossed finish lines and made history. Their direct connection to champions makes them priceless. Each one is a monument to a moment of greatness, preserved in metal and carbon fiber. The setting for this discovery was shockingly ordinary, a dusty, cramped garage in Mexico. The bikes were packed together, covered in grime, their famous liveries barely visible. Far from a museum, this was a hiding place, not a display. The neglect was heartbreaking: flat tires, dust-choked engines, and signs of long abandonment. For a fugitive like Wedding, secrecy mattered more than preservation. The garage also held ammunition, drugs, and artwork, evidence of a criminal life. These legendary machines were stashed alongside the tools of his trade, their value overshadowed by the circumstances. The collection's condition tells a story of haste, risk, and a life on the run. It's a stark reminder of how easily history can be lost to crime and neglect. The seizure was the result of Operation Giant Slalom, a multi-year international investigation. The FBI, LAPD, and Canadian police worked together to dismantle Wedding's network, tracking assets across borders. The operation escalated in 2024 with Wedding's indictment and intensified after a key witness was murdered, allegedly on his orders. Authorities struck at his inner circle, extraditing top advisor Andrew Clark and seizing a $13 million Mercedes supercar. Each move was calculated to strip Wedding of power and resources. The motorcycle seizure was the most spectacular blow yet, showing that no asset was beyond reach. Operation Giant Slalom is a relentless campaign, patient, methodical, and closing in. The message: even the most elusive fugitives can't outrun global justice. None of this would be possible without close U.S.-Mexico cooperation. Seizing assets in another country requires trust, coordination, and shared intelligence. The FBI and Mexican authorities worked hand in hand, combining American intel with Mexican legal authority and manpower. This partnership is vital in the fight against cross-border crime, especially when fugitives hide behind cartel protection. For Mexico, helping capture Wedding is about national security, removing foreign criminals who fuel violence. The collaboration extends to tracking movements, identifying associates, and tightening the net. Operations like this prove that borders are no safe haven for fugitives. Together, the U.S. and Mexico are sending a clear message: justice knows no boundaries. Despite these blows, Ryan Wedding remains at large, the ultimate prize in this global manhunt. He's now on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list, his face broadcast worldwide. The U.S. government is offering up to $15 million for information leading to his arrest or conviction. The reward is designed to tempt insiders to betray him, making loyalty a costly gamble. Wedding is believed to be deep in Sinaloa cartel territory, shielded by loyalists and wealth. Capturing him will require precise intelligence and overwhelming force. Authorities are squeezing his resources, hoping to isolate and corner him. Each asset seized is a signal. His world is shrinking. The hunt continues, a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with the world watching. Now in U.S. government hands, the fate of the $40 million motorcycle collection is shrouded in uncertainty. Once the pride of a passionate collector, these rare machines now sit behind locked doors, their future hanging in the balance. The collection, which took decades to assemble, represents not just immense financial value, but also a unique chapter in motorsport history. Each bike tells a story of innovation, competition, and the relentless pursuit of speed. For now, the bikes are evidence, locked away, out of public view, awaiting the outcome of the case. Their engines are silent, their chrome dulled by dust, as they wait for a verdict that will decide their destiny. The collection's absence is felt deeply by the community, who once admired these machines at shows and races. If Wedding is convicted, the bikes could be auctioned, drawing collectors from around the globe. Such an event would be a spectacle, with enthusiasts and investors vying for a piece of history. The auction could spark bidding wars, as each motorcycle is a coveted prize, representing a rare opportunity to own a legendary machine. The proceeds might fund law enforcement or victim compensation, but at least the bikes would be preserved. In the best-case scenario, these motorcycles would find new homes with caretakers who appreciate their legacy, ensuring they remain on the road or on display for future generations to admire. There's a risk, though. Some seized assets languish in storage for years, neglected and forgotten, or worse, are destroyed due to bureaucratic red tape or lack of resources. The thought of these irreplaceable machines being lost forever is a sobering one for enthusiasts and historians alike. Motorsport fans hope these icons will one day be restored and celebrated, not left to rot. They dream of seeing these bikes roar back to life, displayed in museums, or raced in vintage events, inspiring a new generation of riders and fans. The story is a cautionary tale, how crime can taint even the purest passions, and how easily a legacy can be put at risk. It's a reminder that the line between admiration and obsession can sometimes lead to unintended consequences. But it's also a victory for justice, and a hope that these machines will return to the spotlight where they belong. For now, the world waits, watching and wondering what the next chapter will hold for this extraordinary collection.